girls. Rudyard Kipling knows how to write a book, that's for sure.
Oh my. Did you girls both finish the book?
Yes, we did. Yes.
Well, let me just read a little bit of the last passage. I know we all read it when we finished, but... And as a tree falls, he pitches sideways from the Basharan saddle at Torpenhow's feet. His luck had held to the last, and even to the crowning mercy of a kindly bullet through the head. Torpenhow knelt under the lee of the camel with Dick's body in his arms. Rudyard Kipling is such an excellent writer. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I feel all of you did also. Hasn't it been a wonderful way to spend a dreary afternoon?
Yes, indeed, Mrs. Lavelle. And you and Miss Blanche and Miss Kate have been so generous to share this interesting book with me. How especially hard for an artist to lose his sight. I thought the ending was less tragic because he was so courageous.
I thought the main character of Kipling should have been more romantic. He seemed to be such a lonely man.
Well, I do think Kipling developed his character extremely well. He was interesting and admirable, but so lonely.
Oh, ladies, I have enjoyed this afternoon so much. Wouldn't it be nice if we could invite a whole group of our friends together to meet every week and read aloud from some of our great books?
We could call it a literary club and invite people such as Mrs. Salure, Mrs. Cooper, Mrs. Belford, and others we will think of. We could look forward to a visit with our friends and to the pleasure of reading and hearing good literature.
Couldn't we include some of our gentlemen friends?
Well, I say we could meet in members' homes at least twice a week, and we could make it really special. Serve tea and maybe some little cakes. We would certainly all enjoy the social gathering as well as the inspiration from good literature. But I don't know.
Oh, yes, could we?
Well, young men would probably be too busy and perhaps less interested in our choice of books.
Oh, Miss Blanche, we know you'd probably like to invite some young men to join, especially Mr. Charles Campbell. But I just don't know if the ladies would have the courage to read aloud from books in the presence of young men. You know, there are some words that they have in books that are not fit. They're just not suitable for polite company. In fact, the last book I read, it described young ladies' undergarments, and it actually used the word corset. No, I do not think we should have men as members in this club.
All of the ladies of the club could do the programs, and on special holidays such as Christmas and Easter or any special occasion, we could invite other speakers.
Well, if we can only have women members, then certainly we can invite men speakers.
That would be permissible. We are so fortunate to live in a university town. Think of all those highly educated speakers from Southwestern University.
Speaking of Southwestern, maybe we could be a mutual benefit. Perhaps we could help them make their campus more attractive. Their buildings certainly need some shrubs planted around them. They are so bare looking.
Certainly true.
Well, I would like for us to have a play some night and invite the gentlemen and call it a social get-together. Plays are so popular in other towns now, and I could invite Mr. Campbell.
Well, yes, perhaps some evening we could do that, but I don't think that should be the purpose of our club. It shouldn't just be for our own enjoyment. I think that we should do something constructive for the community.
Yes, I think so too. We are so blessed to live in such a fine community, and I was personally very pleased when the town voted to go dry last election. Now we need no longer fear that that demon rum or whiskey or even beer might be served in Georgetown again. We have made so much progress.
Yes, we have, and I'm thinking about what we could do for the community. Many things come to my mind. We desperately need sanitary drinking fountains put in our schools. I think hauling water in those buckets contributes to some of the illnesses our children suffer from.
Most definitely. And people are talking about wanting to build a monument down on the courthouse square to remember our brave boys in gray. Perhaps we could help with that. Banded together as a club, we might even have enough power to stop that shameful practice of delivering ice on the Sabbath.
Yes.
Why, my minister mentioned that just last Sunday in his sermon.
Oh yes, we were there. And wasn't it inspiring to worship in the beautiful brand new sanctuary of our Methodist church?
I love the stained glass windows, and the organ pipes were so pretty.
I do hope and pray that our beautiful church building will be cherished and kept in good repair for years to come. You know, we are living in very troubling times. The financial panic throughout the nation is reaching a climax, and it is sad that so many farms are being foreclosed on. Labor unions are striking and railroads are going for bankruptcy. Even the government treasury has reached a dangerously low point, Mr. Lavelle says. As much as there is to worry about, it will be so good for us women to get together for an afternoon and listen to a good book.
Well, since we can only have women members, maybe we can invite some men speakers who can explain more about our troubled times now. Papa says the government treasury is so low because President Harrison passed the Sherman Silver Purchase Act. And Papa thinks President Cleveland will succeed in getting the act repealed now that he is in office.
Well, I believe we can leave all those worries to the men. We can just be thankful that Georgetown has been spared from the financial panic that has swept the country. Mr. Landrum says that's mainly because the railroad tap line from Round Rock has been brought to Georgetown, and because Southwestern University has chosen to locate here as well. But even though things are prosperous in our town, it is depressing to read about all the troubles elsewhere in our country. And this makes me welcome the prospect of getting together with some of my friends, other ladies, and listening to good books. Mrs. Lavelle, there is something else I have heard recently that really distresses me. I have heard that Southwestern University is thinking about having classes with young men and young women in the same class.
Oh, in the same classroom as the men?
Woo-wee! Now, even though social contact will still be prohibited, the things that those young ladies might hear in the presence of men, well, it's going to destroy their innocence. I just don't know what this world is coming to.
That certainly is shocking. I am getting excited about our club already. I think studying the fine authors of our 19th century, Nelson Page and James Lane Allen, will be so broadening. I think it will be especially important since our Chautauqua Assembly is in such financial trouble. The Assembly has brought such an array of famous speakers for the 4-week summer programs, and now they're going to have to cut it to 2 weeks. And I fear it will soon be discontinued completely. So I think it is very important for us as women to broaden our horizons and learn as much as we can, because I do think that women will play a much larger role in the future than most of us have ever dreamed of.
My. Well, then we must try to educate ourselves. Miss Blanche, as a university graduate, you would be the perfect leader for our group. Suppose I report to you those people who are interested in joining, and we will need a name for our new group.
Oh, may we name the group?
Oh, yes.
Blanche, I have such a good idea. Let me whisper it to you.
That is good.
It can be the F period, A period, D period, the FAD club.
Miss Kate, what do those initials stand for?
Well, it's something very fitting, something only we will know. Something fun, let's not ever tell. It'll be our secret.
No one will ever know, even in 100 years. We will never, ever tell.
Well, if you ladies want to name it the FAD Club, I think that'll be all right. Seems harmless enough, although I was thinking of a name, something along the lines of, the Georgetown Women's Club. Mercy, is it 5:30 already? I told Mr. Landrum to have Sylvester bring the carriage for me at 5 o'clock. I'm sure he's outside waiting. I have enjoyed your hospitality so much, and I am looking forward to our next meeting.
I'm going to look for a romantic novel, something with a handsome hero in it.
And I'm going to think up a play for our social get-together with the men. And I get to invite Mr. Campbell.
Well, I really must be going. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. So glad you could come today. So
Thank
glad.
you so much for having me.
Yes.
Ladies, it's been a lovely